Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shah being the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now, when you look at our people, they are deeply in love with their slave master. And this is a phenomenon because usually people are going to be angry and upset with somebody that kidnapped them and hold them hostage and torture them and beat them and work them and abuse them and victimize them. The normal mind is going to reject that situation. The normal mind, or the majority of people, are going to reject that person, are going to have a deep hatred for that person, and it's going to have a deep dislike for that person, and it's going to be angry with that person. But for some reason, you have a small percentage of people, when they get in that situation, they fall in love with their slave master. And it winds out that 2/3 of our people have fell into that category. See, 2/3 of our people have fell into the category of falling in love with their slave master. And this is through history. When the psychologists saw this situation, they said, well, something is going on. We got to put a name on it. We got to research it. See, you got all kind of captives, people robbing banks. That's where the Stockholm come from. In Stockholm, Europe somewhere, some place called Stockholm, some guy holds up a bank and he hold the people captives. The man go to jail, or his whoever did the crime went to jail and got punished by the law, just like these heathens are supposed to be getting punished by the law. And when the punishment is going on, and they talking to the captives and the hostages, the people are saying, well, these was a good people. They treated us nice. See, so it was such a big story. They say we gonna name it. The psychologists say we gonna name it after this situation. And you got children being kidnapped by people, and when they grow up, they talk good about the people, even though they give the details of the torture, but they still talking good about the people. A lady got held hostage by a gang. She go and give the gang flowers in prison, visit the gang, get on drugs because the gang got punished. She gets strung out on drugs and be depressed because the people that victimized her got thrown in prison. See, this is how powerful this situation is. Now, let me get a verse real quick before I shoot to this video, because this thing is too powerful, man. Because you got people, especially these Israelite camps, they going into all kind of scriptures trying to save they captive. And the scriptures is plain. Get right to the point. Verse 2, it's saying people shall take them. Hold on. Let's get who gonna take who. Verse 1, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So the house of Jacob is going to be the people that's taking folk. Verse 2 is saying the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. No, we got some scriptures to save them from that. You don't do our captives like that, Lord. Don't do them like that, Lord. See, this is what these 2/3 Negroes is doing. See, they in love with their captive. Now, prophecy shows that they gonna be in love with their captive. Look at what it say. Jeremiah 8:3. It say, and death shall be chosen rather than life. See, most of them is gonna choose their captive. Choose to believe that they captives are not gonna get punished. No, the Lord ain't gonna punish them. He gonna let them be able to come in and get away from that punishment. Long as they apologize, and long as they follow the laws, and long as they do this and do that, they can get away from that punishment. The Lord ain't gonna punish them. See, this is the Stockholm Syndrome in these people. But they choosing death because the main one they trying to save is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They're not trying to save these other nations, man. They focusing on the slave master, the one that had them in captivity. That's who they gonna bring up. That's who they gonna talk about. They're not gonna talk about the Arab or the Chinese man. They not thinking about them. The main captive that's in their mind, or the main capturer or the slave master is in their mind, is the so-called white man, because he is known as death in the scriptures. Well, Habakkuk chapter 2. So this is who they trying to save. And it'll show you, it say, and death shall be chosen rather than life by all the residue of them that remaineth of this evil family. Now that life is the prophets. The ones who's bringing out the truth of the scriptures, the ones that's bringing out the punishment, see, who's speaking against the kingdoms and these other nations that mistreated us and held us captive and tortured us for all of these years. It says, which remain of all the places whither I have driven them. So they're going to be in these different places, and they're not going to believe that they are capturers and the people that's ruling over them is gonna get a punishment. They gonna go with the having mercy and empathy and trying to find some scripture. See, you done learned they're Israelite and everything. See, learning you're Israelite don't mean nothing. It's still, death is gonna be chosen by the Israelites. They gonna be trying to save they captives from punishment. You telling them they're Israelite don't mean nothing. You telling them that they gonna rule over people don't mean nothing. See, once that police pop up on the scene and say, listen, he going to jail and you ain't gonna have to be under him no more. No, well, don't do him wrong. Don't punish him. See, they don't care if they finna be free. They don't care if they finna live in their own house and be away from this person and not depending on this person. They not focusing on none of that. What they focusing on is the punishment of their captive, the punishment of their slave master. That's the main focus for a 2/3 Negro. They not worried about nothing else. See? Now when you go into let's go get the video, man. I'm not even gonna make it a long operation. But we see what's going on. Now I'm gonna have to pause it because I already know the tube is gonna play.
Hostages at the bank, their lives were in the hands of their captors, so psychologists say they developed powerful feelings for these guys. Those men were the ones who were going to let them live, and so they were kind of gods to them. And they did let them live, so hey, they were benevolent gods in the end. Anyone in captivity for a while might at some point show gratitude toward their
Now that's what he say. In Revelation 13 and 15, it say, all those that did not worship the beast will be put to death, because see, that worship is going into what God. You looking at this person as God. See, if you don't look at this person as God, then you gonna be put to death. And this is why these people is gonna be standing in line for a slice of the devil's pie.
Captors for even the smallest acts of kindness. After a longer period of time, the captive person becomes reliant on the captor for everything, and so they might become like a child to that person. One psychologist wrote, they experience a type of infantilization, where, like a child, they're unable to eat, speak, or go to the toilet without permission. There have been studies when the captive person was told that life without their captor is dangerous, and they believed it, to the extent of not trying to even run away when they had the chance.
See, that's these 2/3 Negro. Life without the so-called white man, see, it's unbearable. We can't survive without the so-called white man. How we gonna go to Jerusalem and live without the white man? And how we gonna rule the earth without the white man? And how we gonna eat and do anything without the white man? Where they gonna be at? See, this is a 2/3 Stockholm Syndrome Negro.
So first, a person might feel utter terror, but as a survival mechanism, they might even begin to empathize with the person who has them locked up. It's a coping mechanism, and somewhere in the mind, a switch might get flicked and the person might start liking their captor. It's the only way to get through it. They submit to their God, and when that God doesn't exhibit its wrath, this becomes an act of kindness. This submission, importantly, isn't a conscious choice, in that the victim doesn't think, I better be nice to this dude. They actually just become nice to him. In some cases, they might even help their captor evade the authorities. The FBI once said that 8%.
You see that? They want to help the captors evade authorities. They want to help the captors try to get around the punishment that the Lord got for them. See, you keep them laws and you come hang around us, the Lord might not punish you when he come. You keep them laws and you do what we say, the Lord might put some mercy on you. You might not have to pay for the position of your nation, for the punishment of your whole family. See, because when back in the scriptures, I think his name was Acon or whatever his name, Acon or whatever, he went and stole some gold and hid the precious diamonds or something and stole the robe or something. And he didn't just die. His whole family got punished. His whole family got put to death. See? Got destroyed. So you just because one person do something, or the forefathers do something, the Lord don't care about none of that, man. That's some. Even the law don't care about that. If one person in the car got dope, you might all go to jail. But anyhow.
Of kidnapping victims had shown signs of Stockholm Syndrome. There is so much gray area, though, because every situation is unique. Like the girl we talked about, some victims will tell you that they're not suffering from anything. Stockholm Syndrome is not actually recognized as a mental illness or as an official psychiatric diagnosis, but it's a term used to describe what victims might be experiencing. You wouldn't say he's got Stockholm Syndrome, but you might know he's experiencing something like Stockholm Syndrome. At least now you all know something else that came from Sweden besides IKEA and meatballs. Can you imagine being kidnapped and this?
So Sweden.
You want to know how I acquired this trifling?
Slovakia. Sweden was the place. Stockholm, Sweden, I guess. Now let's go. Let me go to Revelation. I'm gonna end it on Revelation because this is what these Negroes. Well, let's do second Ezra. I did Revelations already. Second Ezra 16:69. They say, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under the foot. See, it's going to be some 2/3 Negro that's going to consent to them. See, they going to stand in line for the price of the devil, for a slice of the devil's pie. See, they going to be all in line. Like D'Angelo said, they all in line. They waiting on that darn Koragma. They waiting on consenting to their slave master and joining with them, even though life can be chosen. They gonna choose death. And that death is they're talking about the so-called white man, Esau Edom, the red dragon. the devil, the Satan of the Bible. See, this is who they gonna choose, and this gonna mean death for them because they fell in love with their captive. The Lord said they going to jail. Let's go ahead and get that, man. Let's go ahead and get it. I'm gonna get right to the point. Verse 7. He said to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. See, the judgment is written for these other nations. And these Stockholm Syndrome Negroes, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they want to be in love with their slave master. And the majority of them is going to be in love with their slave master. And they going to stand in line, see. That when you get in that line, just know you stand in line and you going to be standing in line for them nuclear missiles, that lake of fire. That's what you standing in line for. You ain't gonna get. You might even get the pie. Say you might get the slice and the pie, whatever he got for you. But see, while you eating that darn thing, just like the so-called white man, he gonna even get his pie. But while y'all eating that pie together, you and your slave master, that's when them darn nuclear missiles is gonna drop on your head. And it's gonna be one amazing situation. See, because Negroes gonna stand in that line, boy. But I'm gonna leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, the honor to the elders, pushing the truth, peace of the elect worldwide, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.